Dr. Matt, man, we saved the best for last here. Thanks
Thanks,
for
man. I'm
joining
glad to
us.
be here.
I'm glad you're here too. We're going to talk about a topic today that I get so many questions about, and just how to grow our business and how to approach it. And the thing that comes up all the time is paid ads, and if I need them and how to do them and all that kind of stuff. So you're cool about diving into your expertise around that today?
Yes, please. Fire
Yeah.
away. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned a little bit earlier too, I've played around with this stuff in the past, and I also teach, the organic way of, creating social media content and getting eyes on our stuff. But there's always that elusive, if I put money towards this stuff and show it to the right people, things could go a lot faster. But in my experience, maybe that hasn't always worked out that way for me. So if you could, I'm not a skeptic, but can you turn me into a believer around the paid ads?
Yeah, I mean, so whenever you run paid ads, all you're doing is just amplifying a message, right? So you're putting gas on a fire. If you're
Mm,
not clear on who it is you serve, what makes you different than everybody else in the marketplace, and you try pouring gasoline on something that's unclear, then
mhm.
you're just going to get a lot of not the best quality leads. You're gonna get poor quality leads, people who aren't really sure if you're the right guy for them. And it's really meant for people who have a clear foundation of here's my avatar and here's how it's unique. But all it does is it just drives more attention and awareness to you and your brand. But it all comes back down to messaging, positioning, and that has to come first. But yeah, I mean that's part of it. And the other part of it is you got to test. You got to test. You got to be comfortable losing money before you make money. And I think that's hard for a lot of people because we want certainty,
Without a
but
doubt.
we don't get that. Like Coca-Cola, these big companies, they spend millions, billions of dollars, probably billions, on advertisements, and they don't know if it's going to work right off the bat. So you have to go into it with this like openness of I might lose some money, but I have to lose some money first before I make some money. And that's testing different messages and positioning to figure out what is the right messaging for someone who doesn't know, like, and trust me like my followers do to eventually come into my world and then buy from me.
Amazing. Do you feel like there's must be different approaches within that too, in terms of like who sees this stuff, and do they know you yet, and are they more aware of your things and kind of what you present to them in terms of like the next step?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's like some people like to run the direct offer ads where it's like, hey, I'm looking for 5 people who want blank, blank, blank,
Right.
results guaranteed, or you don't pay. That's one style of advertisement. And then the
I
other
can
style
imagine
is
that's
more,
better suited for like people that already have some sense of who you are, right?
yeah, it performs a lot better for like bigger accounts, people who already have like social, like a lot of social proof, and like if
Mhm.
you got a big following, people see that like, oh, I can work with this guy. Like as crazy as it is, that style of advertising works a lot better for bigger following accounts.
Right.
While the other is how can I lead with more value? So like that's more of your traditional lead magnet. But sometimes with lead magnet stuff, you get a bunch of freebie seekers who don't want to invest in your coaching. So you kind of have to test a different lead magnets, different approaches, etc. I like to go more for the free value approach because my personal philosophy is like I want to give people so much value that they want to pay me because they're
Mhm.
like, I've already gotten value. I've already watched your YouTube. I've already gone through your course, your training, and I use stuff for free. And I got so much good results. I want to pay you. I don't even care about
Right.
the program, what I get inside. I've already gotten value from you. I just want access to you. So that's typically my approach. Sometimes you don't get the as good of a return on investment from comparing that to like a direct offer. Hey, I'm looking for 5, but you get to build a brand along the
Mhm.
way. So like right now, I've been growing my YouTube channel, but most of that started from me getting ads to a free training lead magnet, right? And then twice a week, posting a YouTube video, sending a bunch of traffic. All the people who opted in emailed to YouTube, and that's been my play. And now YouTube's growing for me organically. So I wouldn't be able to do that if I had the other direct offer approach. So it kind of comes back down. There's different strategies that work for different people, and it ultimately comes back down to like your philosophy and like what you believe in. I love to lead with value, so that's the approach that I lead with. It's more of a brand building play. It could be a slower return on ad spend, but I want to play the long term game, not the short term like make money fast and then burn out. play.
Without a doubt. I definitely personally, like personal philosophy wise, I definitely fall in line with that in terms of like give, and then people are still going to pay you for the application of that information. They're still going to take that next step. Do you think in that scenario though, like you got to have a bit of a mindset shift around like, I'm putting money into this to like build that goodwill, and I might not like, how do I wrap my head around not seeing the immediate results of that? And I'm sure there's so many analogies to like training and stuff where we put effort into things and we don't know it right away. But like, how do I wrap my head around that?
Yeah. And to be clear, even with the lead magnet approach, we're still aiming for a return on investment within like 30 days of me investing. Now, when I say 30 days, when you get started, you're going to lose money. You just are. Your
Mhm.
first goal is, can I break even, right? If I put $1 in, the end of the month, can I get $1 out?
Right.
But then as you keep growing, ideally we can put $1 in and get $2 out, right? And then we can get $1 in and put $3 out. And it'll compound as you run ads longer because you're just going to be in front of people more often with different ads and different messages and stuff like that. So even when you're getting started, like you should still be making money. Again, first month, you're probably going to lose money, just how it is. You got to test a bunch.
Mhm. Yep.
But you should be breaking even at the minimum, even with a free lead magnet type of ad strategy, like ideally within your second month, third month. So it's
Mhm.
not like I'm gonna spend money and lose it for a long period of time. If you're doing that, you're just running. You don't have a good funnel. You don't have good ads. You don't have good
Mhm.
messaging. So even for us, like there's only been. I mean, of course, we've been business. There's been some months where we lose money on the front end, but then on the back end, if we keep a client, we'll make 4 to 5x that investment back. So
Mhm.
as long as like you could be profitable just getting a one time, like you make your money back and then keep the client for a very long time
Right.
every single month. So yeah, you don't so you will lose money at the start, but you should not be losing money every month. If so, you've got a bad funnel.
What are some of those, like when we start to think about, okay, this isn't working, what are some of those like barriers, I don't know, issues coming up, things that like are getting in your way? Like, are there some bottlenecks around, like you talked about messaging, or like what are the common pitfalls there?
Yeah. Number one, this is something that's really hard to teach, and it's being the attractive character, especially now. Like you used to be able to run ads to a video sales letter, a free training, or even a direct application, and if
Yeah.
the offer was good, it was like, oh, you're gonna get this result, or we'll give you $1,000 back, blah blah blah. Like the Alex Hormozy stuff. And now
Yeah.
that's so flooded in the marketplace that it doesn't actually make you stand out at all. Like everyone's
Right.
doing the money back guarantee. So that doesn't work anymore. So you have to have a personal brand to go with it. So it's like we don't ever like, well, I'm never going to suggest someone run ads until they've got organic content that's going out, that's a clear avatar, etc. Because you're going to lose money.
Hmm.
So number one is you just have to be the attractive character. You've got to be the inspiration for other people. So you got to live the life. If you're a nutrition coach, you better be eating well. Like if you're going to McDonald's and Subway and you don't look the par, it's
Yeah.
really hard to get somebody who's going to see an ad from you and be like, oh, this is my person. Like you've got to have that, and that's hard for some people, but you've got to have that um, yeah, like that character quality of being like, I want to be coached by this person and I'm inspired by this person because they're living the lifestyle that I want to live. Hardest
Totally.
thing to teach, hardest thing, because I can tell you the ad strategy, the ads, the exact what to say, but if that's not you, it's really tough.
For
So
sure.
that's like the first thing, and then the second thing is going to be just a really solid follow up process. Because anytime we run ads, like it's called speed to lead. If somebody comes in, whether they follow you, they shoot you a DM, they're typically coming in when they want the most help. They downloaded your free guide because they're struggling with it, right? If it's a free guide on, you know, um, how to drop 10 pounds without cutting
Hmm.
out your carbs or whatever your lead magnet is, like they're coming in because that's the goal they have. They want to lose 10 pounds.
Right.
So if you don't have the time is the outcome to be able to reach out to that person or have the finances to have someone on your team, or there's booking bots, there's other things that can do it too, that can reach out and nurture that lead. That also makes it a lot harder for people to be profitable because to the traditional just like email marketing game where someone opts into your funnel and then they
Mhm.
get an email and they buy from you is a lot harder to crack now because leads are more expensive now because more people are marketing. So being the attractive character and then having a really robust like follow-up process are like the top two things that I think most people fail when they fail with ads are those two reasons, or messaging, which we talked about earlier.
Gotcha. So it's almost like the attractive character piece around like that's probably what's going to get you the most attention / make people like actually want to click, want to follow through, do the thing. And then on this side, it's like once you've got the attention, you can't fumble it through not following up, not being helpful, not doing any of that stuff quick enough.
Yeah, doing it quick enough, and also like doing it in a way that's like respectful of the other person too, not just like, hey, hop on a call with me, I can give you your money, like
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
where it's actually having a conversation with somebody. If you're in the DMs, you can send voice memos. You know,
Yeah.
hey, thanks for the follow. Just saw you followed my account. How long have you been following me, or how'd you come across my account?
Yeah.
And then they say something like, and then when you pitch, if you do think you can help, send a video, audio message or video message. Hey, thanks so much for this conversation. Everything you shared in here has actually been, really helpful. I think I've actually got something that could help you go from here to here. If you're open to it, I'd love to offer a free call where we can kind of discuss more. You know, but like that personal touch goes a long way because people buy coaches. They don't buy programs or nutrition plans or diets. Like they're buying a coach who's going to hold them accountable, who they look up to for inspiration, accountability. So you've got to show and demonstrate that before you ask somebody for a call or, for them to buy from you.
Yeah. Do you find a lot of these coaches are afraid to do that aspect? They feel like they're going to like be like too pushy or too direct, or like even send the message?
At the start, I mean, I was. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how when I started doing this stuff, I was the same way. I was nervous. I was nervous about how other people would perceive me if they felt like I was salesy or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
the end of the day is, I know I can't help everybody. I know I can only help maybe 1%, maybe of the people I talk to. But that doesn't mean that I can't say, hey, you're not a good fit for me, but Dr. Marc, he's got this other program that I think you should absolutely check out. So if you field it from that perspective, not of I'm in here to make money, which I mean, it's part of it, but I'm here to help this person. And it may not be me who's going to be the person who can help them, but I may have someone who I can help, who I can connect them with. If you come from that angle of being the connector and just like the coach, right? Because you're kind of coaching in there. You don't want to be too coaching, giving advice away. You need to save that for your good stuff. But if you're able to be there, talk to them and say, how can I help this person today? That changes a lot of the mindset around it.
Totally. No, I completely agree. I think it's one of the best things you can overcome. I think there's been almost a stigma around like reaching out to people through direct messages and doing that kind of stuff, which is we kind of been almost like pushed away from like cold DMing and spamming people, because that's not good either. But I think there's a distinct difference between someone raising their hand and saying, like, I need your help. Here's an expression of that through downloading your thing or whatever. It's like, of course you can reach out to that person. Like, why wouldn't you reach out to those people?
Yeah. It's just really hard too. Like if you expect them just to go like consume the thing on their own without ever talking to them and then they'll book by themselves, it happens, but it's a lot harder. Like most of our calls that get booked for our business is we talk to them in some way, shape or form. It could have been I live in Austin, Texas. I might've seen somebody who's opted into something of mine and they're like, oh, it's Dr. Matt. I've seen your stuff. I've actually opted into this. And like, I may talk to them and they're like, I want to book a call with you. I'm like, cool. But the same thing happens when we're in the DMs, or in social. So it's, it's just being a resource for people. And it is uncomfortable when you first get started, but after you do it a couple times, it becomes more comfortable.
Yeah. I almost like to think about it like anytime you go to a major city in like the touristy area where like you're walking down the street and people are giving you like the things to go to their thing. Like, I think that's what many coaches think they're going to be doing, like those little handouts around like come to my like event or like come check out the free, like the tour, the paid tour kind of thing. It's like, it's so far from that. It's actually the difference. It's like almost someone coming into your store and asking you a question about your service. And you just sit staring there and not like saying anything to them. Like that would be the actual reflection of it. Right.
That's a great one. I love that.
It's like, that's so different from it. So it's like, I don't know if we can focus on just being, like you said, just helpful and leading the next step and kind of going from there. I think it's the thing that helps the most.
Yeah, I love that.
Some of your YouTube content is so great and you're exploring so many good topics. One topic you broke down was the difference in terms of setting up some of your social media profiles, especially Instagram, with like some of the different settings in terms of like creator versus business versus should you just have a personal account? Like, what should people be doing with those things, coaches specifically?
I like creator accounts for coaches. Business accounts, if you have like a brick and mortar business, might make more sense. But for most people, I default to the creator account. And typically, you would do this, and your account would be you, not like the business name. I can't tell you how many people who like follow me who's like something nutrition, and the profile photo is like not them. And like we kind of talked about earlier, like people buying coaches are buying from individuals because they know they can trust them. So personal brands are favored a lot higher than that of solid brick and mortars or a business. Like if a business is DMing me, I probably won't respond back either. But if it was the CEO from their account, and it was their profile, I was like, hey, what's up? And then maybe it's a voice memo. Hey, what's up, Dr. Mark? This is Matt. How's it going?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, cool. The person took the time and this is actually them. Oh, I'm going to respond. So I like creator accounts. And I even if you have a team, like a nutrition team and like of coaches, I still would run ads and have the business be from that personal brand. And then eventually if you wanted to sell, it's a different conversation, but that's typically further along down the line where you want to do something like that. So
cool. I think that
most
must
people start
influence the naming of things as well, though, too, right? In terms of like how you actually name that account and set it up.
If you want to sell.
Yeah, no, or if you just want to like you're going to do a creator account, it's going to be based on a personal brand. Like it should probably have your name, your name in it, or like some aspect of that versus just like the flat out the business name.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I would have the exact same. So just your name, very simply, like your name. If you can have no spaces, great. If you can't find that, add some underscores, but like, or coach name, like that works really well.
Cool.
So that's typically the style I'll do. So a creator account and have the name and handle be as close to your name as possible. And business account, like the creator account, the reason I like it more than the business account is because creator account typically will hook up to your personal Facebook as well. And again, people like, if you've been building a network just from going to school with people and stuff like that, they'll see what you're doing as well. And you get access to some like trending audios and stuff that you don't get with the business account. And then if you do end up running ads, you can run ads from a creator account as well.
Cool. I can imagine if we're just using our name too in like the actual handle, there's probably room for you to like build up the story a bit more in your bio as well as the content you're creating. So what should you put in there?
In the bio?
Yeah.
I would your name. So still like, handle's going to be close to your name. Your name's actually going to be your name. And then you might have like a little like hyphen or like a straight line and then have like nutrition coach, something that someone else would type in to look for the service. Right.
Gotcha.
So that's what you probably have for your name. And then the bio, who do you help? I help. Don't be cute. Just be straight, be direct. Cause
totally.
If people don't understand what it is, you might not be for them, but when you could be because you were cute. So just be simple. I help, busy moms, either lose weight. I help busy moms get in great shape. I help busy moms eat balanced meals, whatever the thing is that you want to do, just like have that be very clear. Right.
Without a doubt.
And then typically underneath that, there's a couple things you can do. I like to put some social proof. So if you've worked with a certain number of people, you can say, 200 people coached plus, or 200 plus 5-star reviews, like some sort of social proof there. Other things of social proof could be if you wrote a book, you could put author. That automatically gives you a little bit higher of a status, right? If you are like a doctor of some sort, right? PhD or PT, DPT, DC, anything like that, like put that there too. Again, that gives you a little bit more credibility. Or if you, like I work with some gyms and sometimes they'll be like, Austin's #1 rated gym in 2025. Cool. Put that there. Right. And then, so that's line 2. Line 1 is like, who do you help? Line 2 is some sort of credibility or something that sets you apart. And then typically line 3 is going to be just like a direct call to action to whatever your link in bio is.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a free resource, application to work with you, or just to like, DM me this word to learn more about blank.
Gotcha. Do you feel like, man, that's super powerful and helpful? I think you just broke down like a masterclass on, I bet you so many things that people just don't think are important, and literally just like,
Yeah.
it's your storefront, right? It's the first time someone comes to check out your stuff in this digital landscape. So it's got to be clear and obvious why they're there.
Yeah. I mean, that's coming back to ads again. It's like being the attractive character. That thing should be professional. If you're going to run ads or even post content and people are going to come, like you said, first impression it stands out a lot. So how does that account look? How does it feel? Because you could say the right things, but if it doesn't look good with your profile, bio, and like visually, your pen posts look messy, or you have no story highlights, it doesn't look tight and clean. That's the first impression someone's going to have is, oh, this is a little unorganized.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't want to pay a coach who's going to hold me accountable if they're not organized. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Oh man, that's it's just the details, right? And sometimes we just gotta. I think sometimes you really, when you get to the point where you really have that dialed in, it's almost like just an expression of everything else too, right? Where it's like now like you have all those, you've compiled all the reviews and you know what to talk about in your content. You have that strong, I help statement. So it's like you can just live that stuff out in the rest of the content. You have a strong direction around where your stuff is going.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes a big deal, man. It's like, yeah, it's the second thing we do with all of our clients because it's so important. It's like before you even talk about creating content, it's like, let's clean this stuff up.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, you just had a nice segue there. What is the first thing, Dr. Matt?
Is going to be optimizing their offer. So like positioning, messaging, who is the ideal avatar? What's that transformation? And then how do you do it? Right? Like if you're a nutrition coach, is there anything that's that positions you differently? Are you plant-based? Are you like carnivore? Do you like intermittent fasting? Do you like keto? Do you just have your own mechanism? But what is the outcome? Who's it for? And then how do you do it is like the number one thing. Typically that'll include like, what's it priced at? And then also, how do you articulate that? So we typically help people come up with a really simple, 3 to 5 step process where if someone says, hey, how do you help me? How do you help your clients? Oh, well, step 1, we do this. Step 2, we do this. Step 3, we do this. Again, clear, concise. And someone's just like, oh, wow, that's very thorough.
They can see exactly what's going to happen to them, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like an elevator. What do you do? I do a lot of things. No, you can't do that. You're like, I help these people lose weight. I do that with blank, blank, blank. And here's my 3 steps I take all my clients through so they get great results. Oh, wow. That sounds organized.
Yeah. Amazing. Where do you think people go wrong with the offer when coaches are coming up with an offer? Is it being not specific enough? Is it like there's not a clear enough result tied to it? Like, what are the pitfalls around that?
Yeah, I used to say it wasn't like the results weren't clear enough, but again, like it kind of comes back to being the attractive character. The more I've been in business, the more I realized that like the more the offer aligns with your past self, or it could be like something that's near and dear to you. So like you may not be in your 50s and you may help people in their 50s, but that may be because you saw your parents get to age 50 and their health started deteriorating. And that triggered something inside of you to feel, oh, I'm not going to be that way. So that like sense of like purpose, right, is really important. So the people who mess up are like, I help busy professionals or I help entrepreneurs, and like they're not an entrepreneur. They have no history of being an entrepreneur. I mean, sure, you might have a coaching business, but when I think of entrepreneur, I'm thinking of people who are doing 7-8 figures, like, and someone's coming in making $5,000 a month. You're not speaking the same language as somebody who's doing 7-8 figures as an entrepreneur that's like figured it out. Like they're not going to take advice. Sorry, they're not going to take advice from you. But like if you were an entrepreneur and you were doing those numbers and you had this big epiphany moment and you had a health crisis and you're like, I shut my business down. I had to let go of my staff. And it was all because I didn't take care of my health. And now I don't want other entrepreneurs to have that same experience. So I'm now doing this. And what do those people want? They respect their time. What do they want? Like the high-end services. So if this was your story, hey, I'm going to be offering, blood work. I'm going to be doing this. You can even buy your meals from me. Like those people value their time. So they need a more expensive offer. I see too many people want to serve entrepreneurs, or they want to serve busy professionals because they think they have money. And if that doesn't line with your story at all, it's really hard to be the attractive character because it just doesn't make sense. So a lot of times it's like putting the ego aside of being like, I want to work with this group. It's like, well, you have no connection with this group. Why? Stop it. Like, let's go back to your story. How did you get here? What are things that are important to you? And how do we build a brand around that so that you can grow it authentically? Because it stinks when I've had people happen where they'll like niche down to this thing and they're creating content, but it doesn't come from their like heart or soul, or they're excited to talk about it. They're just doing it because these are busy professionals and this is the problems they have. So I got to market around it. That doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, without a doubt, man. I'm just like, everything you're saying, I just like, I'm getting creative and getting ideas and stuff. It's really magical. Good, yeah, no, absolutely. It's good. How would you, when someone's trying to find out the attractive character in terms of like who they are, where they came from, how it aligns with their offer and all those things, I can imagine you don't always get it right the first time. How long would you give it till you move on to something else?
90 days. I would be like, all right, cool. Like if a new client comes in, I mean, our ideal clients already have some of the stuff figured out, but we still take a lot of beginners too.
Yeah.
And we have a 90-day program. So it's like, all right, when you pick this, like that's our intro offer. But like if someone comes in, it's like, hey, I want you to commit to this for the next 90 days. Because if we go 3 weeks in and you decide, oh, I got to change my niche, we got to start all over again. So it's like, can we find something and stick with it and give this a shot? Post every day about it, reach out to people who are in this, who are in your network, who fit this avatar, and talk to them. Do you like the conversations you're having? At least 90 days. And if you don't like it, you can change it again. But giving things in 90-day sprints I'd say is a minimum. I'd like to be closer to 6 months, but if you try something for 90 days and you just go flat, I would probably look at changing the avatar.
Gotcha. What are some of those indications that things have gone flat?
Yeah, they're just not booking calls. Cause like, you can get on calls and like we have a few, like check out the YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I've got a lot of like good beta launch stuff and how to get clients like getting started. But some of those things are like, man, if you need to if you're starting a coaching offer, the avatar should be people who are already in your network. So that's another issue. Is sometimes people are like, I want to help tech professionals. I'm like, cool. Are you in tech? No. Okay. It's going to be really hard. So it's like starting off with people in your network. And then as you grow, you can change, you can expand into niches or make a bigger niche. But starting off small, people in your network who will hop on calls with you and ask market research questions and just get clear on what their problems are. If you can't get on calls with friends, family, peers and stuff in that avatar, that's probably going to be a yellow flag of like, I don't know. Because I wouldn't want someone just like pick a niche and be like, I'm going to spend some money on ads before I have clients. And it's like, okay, you might just burn all this, but if you want to do that, you can.
Totally. Yeah, I love the concrete answer around the 90 days though, because I think so many of us don't want to give the answer around, hang out in it depends land, but that gives something a little more concrete around where to try this and how to set yourself up for success as you spend that time, which is if you're going to a place where you know no one, it's probably not going to work out well.
100%.
Without a doubt. So much good stuff to cover today. You got a free paid ads course that people are going to check out. What are we going to learn in that?
Yeah, go check it out. Some good stuff. There's probably like 4 to 6 hours of content there.
No kidding. That is like the MO is provide the value to the people.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there. You'll probably get hit with some retargeting ads if you do it, just letting you know. But
yes, I love it. No, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Inside of there, it just goes over, there's 3 different ad strategies we take people through. We talked about some of those today, whether they're direct offer or free value based. So going in there, based off your budget, it'll kind of tell you which one would be best for you to use. So it'll teach you how to launch the ads, how to target the right people, how to make the creatives and speak to the people that you want to attract. So you don't attract a bunch of broke privy seeking leads.
Mhm.
And yeah, it'll teach you basic setup, right? Outside of that, you're going to need help eventually if you do want to like scale ads, because it's kind of an art and a science to it. But this
Mhm.
is going to be all around like creating profitable ads, understanding the numbers, KPIs behind them, to get you started.
Amazing. What a great place to get started. The easiest way to get your hands on that is we're going to include it in the coaching resource bundle that we have with every coach that showed up this week. So make sure you register for the symposium. You can check out Dr. Matt's stuff. What a great way to get started. Yeah. The last question I had around that is, that does sound like something, if you're going to go down that path and learn about it, you should have your hands on at the beginning. It's not something that you should just outsource. Is that
Yeah,
right? I mean,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's one of the most frequently asked questions we get. I mean, you wouldn't outsource, hopefully you wouldn't outsource someone creating your content for you, especially if you're the brand, you're the attractive character. Same thing goes for ads, or even like you wouldn't outsource sales calls immediately. It's not the best move. It's very easy to run ads. It'll take you less than 5 minutes a day, maybe an hour a week, like of managing stuff, launching new things, making new stuff. But you're essentially, it's very low maintenance. Do not waste money on paying somebody $2,000 to $5,000 a month until you're spending $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 a month for them to have enough to manage.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, I love just having numbers, us talking numbers and stuff like that, and like putting numbers on things are so important for people, because it's just not often talked about, like when you should do certain things. And I think it's important for us as coaches and educators to kind of dispel some of that stuff around it. Right.
Yeah. I mean, when you're starting a business, you need to be as profitable as possible. You don't need to hire a bunch of people when you get started. Like, you should be scrappy and do everything you can so you can save as much as you can to be able to eventually invest in support. But like, when you're getting started, be scrappy, learn everything, like know how everything works, so that eventually you can outsource it and not just have this like black box phenomenon of like not knowing how this thing works, you know?
Yeah. I think when people go down that path, it's often very disappointing. So do whatever you can to avoid that.
Yeah.
Dr. Matt, thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate this chat. Make sure you check out, register for the symposium so we can hook you up with that free paid ads course. And this was great, Dr. Matt. We'll have to get you back on.
Thanks, man. It was fun. Thanks for inviting me here, and I enjoyed it.
Likewise. And that's it. It's a wrap for our 3-day symposium. So thanks everyone for checking things out. And if you're watching the replay, make sure to join us. We got all the replays all in one place and all those coaching offers when you register. So make sure to do that. Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye. Now, as great as all those tips are, maybe you're still wondering how to start or grow your nutrition coaching. Here's what I want you to do. Go to the first link down in the description below, and you'll get all the details on our Nutrition Coaching Academy certification. It's a 90-day program that'll give you everything you need to start nutrition coaching or to take your nutrition coaching business to the next level. Check out all the details down in the link below, and thanks for watching.